Hello and welcome back to Storytime with Shefali at Bukmuk Library, where every Friday I bring you a new story. Today's story is very special. It is New York Times #1 bestseller. The name of the book is How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids. But trust me, this story is not just for kids. It is written by Tom Rath and Mary Rathmeyer, illustrated by Maury J. Manning. What do you see from the cover? Tell me. You see a boy, you see a dog, and you see a bucket. Is he going to a river or to a well to fetch some water? I wonder. Let's read. Felix was putting one of his last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away, you're too little." Uh-oh. "I'm big." "Stay back, you'll knock it over." "I'll be very careful." "Go play with your baby dolls." Sister is mad and she breaks the tower. "Grandpa!" Felix called. Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels sad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandpa was joking. "I don't see an invisible bucket. Do you?" But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was. A small grey bucket floating above his head. Surprised. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, stay still." Mom was busy and I think Felix is trying to get the bag of cereals and... Felix slipped and choco wheat scattered across the floor. "Felix!" yelled his mom. You should have used the stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip, drip. Can you see? "Ha ha!" Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. "Drip, drip. Get the broom and clean that before you go," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly cleaned up all the choco wheats and grabbed his last blueberry muffin. But before he could take even one bite, the dog Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. A drop fell out from the bucket. "Hey, look of Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has just one like it. It has laser hands." Ho ho ho. Children were making fun of him and Felix could see a drop dripping from his bucket. Everyone is talking behind his back and laughing at him. Felix is feeling his bucket being empty and empty with every drop. "Watch out!" Felix is having a tough day at school. It was still morning and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. As he watched his classmate walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Felix tumbled into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look, but she said, "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right into his bucket. Drop! He felt nice. He got up and read his story in front of the whole class. Drop, 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 drop. The story was about the Giantosaurus who wanted a pet. By me, Felix, as he read, the whole class listened in awe and they laughed at the right places on his jokes, on Felix's story jokes, and they all loved it. Even the classmates who were teasing him before, they loved the story and they all clapped at the end. And Felix's bucket started to fill. He felt happy. And during lunchtime, Felix noticed a love you note from the mom. Drop! He felt happy. He's loved. Team captains today were Veronica and Felix. Felix felt nice. His painting was appreciated by the school teacher. He felt nice. A drop in his pocket. Cool laser and backpack. And a classmate congratulated him. Drop fell into his bucket. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix could suddenly realize that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. A few children's bucket were full, a few children's bucket were almost empty or a half. And because Felix's bucket was full and he was feeling good, he was helping other people. Like he helped a teacher whose notes fell down. He helped another boy. He helped a boy who was newcomer in the class. And something strange happened. You notice? When he was helping someone, a drop fell into their bucket. But a drop also fell into his own bucket. And Felix noticed this and he felt amazing. He felt amazing of helping people, it seems. When Felix burst into the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog!" He almost scolded dog. But then he thought, wait, maybe dogs have an invisible bucket too? "Your doll will be okay, Anna," Felix said. "Mom will fix her. Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" Anna was very happy. And so, together, they built the tallest building. And, you see, a drop fell into both of them's buckets. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. How full is your bucket right now? Do check. And I just love this story because after reading this story to my child, I realized that let us make small little efforts to fill each other's bucket also, in general also to everyone. And if our bucket is not so full, if you are feeling grumpy, if you are having bad thoughts, what would you do? Tell me in the comments. How full is your bucket right now? Tell me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the story. Come back next week for another story. And I will see you next week. And meanwhile, if you are a parent raising a reader and you want new books for your child, because bedtime reading is a blessing. It is a beautiful way to raise a readers. Do consider to join Bukmuk Library. with the library service, you can have a hassle-free access to unlimited amazing books. We home deliver, so we are not an e-books, right? Because somebody asked, are you an e-library? No, we are not an e-library. We just have a website like Amazon where you order books and we deliver, and next time when you order, we change books, right? So if you have any queries, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to help you. See you next time, next Friday with another story.